The United States has resumed military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine following Kyiv's acceptance of a proposed 30-day ceasefire with Russia. The development comes after high-level diplomatic discussions in Saudi Arabia. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio stated clearly that the ceasefire proposal will now be formally presented to Russia, though it remains uncertain whether Moscow will agree to the terms. It is currently a complicated time for American diplomacy. Following yesterday's diplomatic session in Saudi Arabia, the U.S. appears firmly behind Ukraine, urging Russia to accept the temporary truce. Secretary Rubio emphasized that the next move belongs to Russia, adding, "I hope they say yes. If they say no, we'll unfortunately know what the impediment to peace really is." This statement marks a significant step as both sides consider ending the prolonged conflict. In another diplomatic development, the U.S. Special Envoy is scheduled to travel to Moscow later this week for direct negotiations. This follows recent communications between CIA director and his Russian counterpart, signaling a potential opening for diplomatic progress. Despite these encouraging signs, analysts remain cautious as Russia has historically been resistant to concessions, often setting difficult conditions for peace negotiations with Ukraine. Ambassador John Herbst, a former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, commented that it is no surprise Ukraine quickly agreed to the ceasefire terms. He explained that since Trump's election, Ukraine has consistently demonstrated readiness for compromise to secure peace. Ambassador Herbst further indicated that Russia's pattern of diplomacy involves appearing cooperative while introducing last-minute conditions, complicating negotiations and testing U.S. resolve. Herbst clarified that Ukraine had previously signaled willingness to compromise on territorial disputes even before Trump took office. He added that the proposed ceasefire involves potential deployment of European peacekeeping forces to maintain stability in Ukraine. However, Russia has consistently rejected these conditions without offering substantial alternatives, raising doubts about Moscow's true willingness to achieve sustainable peace. Ambassador Herbst questioned why the U.S. administration publicly emphasizes mutual concessions, given that Ukraine has long shown readiness to compromise. He suggested this might be a diplomatic tactic to pressure Russia into genuine negotiations. Herbst concluded that while this diplomatic strategy might encourage Russia to act, Moscow's historical reluctance suggests significant obstacles still remain before a lasting agreement is possible.